Good evening. Good evening. My name's Rodney Glover, and I'm a candidate for governor of Florida. I usually get a couple of questions that I do answer often, but that's the job that I'm asking for, so I really don't mind. The questions are: What's will I take APAC money? Where do I stand on illegal immigration, gun rights, taxes, and enforcement of the current laws that are already in place? And what about overdevelopment in Florida? First and foremost, let me be clear: I don't I don't want every thought I have to be the sum total of what we do in this state. That's literally my core premise behind legislative authority. So when we talk about illegal immigration, like I've said, we have three laws that I know for sure: USC Code 8, 1324, 1325, and 1326. If we enacted those codes properly, we could better manage our illegal immigration problem. We just do not do those things. When it comes to taxes, state taxes specifically, if citizens have a problem with taxes, I need to create an avenue that's going to let citizens vote to address taxes that are going to be beneficial to the citizen. This is why I consistently say that this platform that I'm asking you to be a part of is one that's going to give you, the citizen, more power over overdevelopment of the state of Florida. We all know that it's a problem. Why don't we develop in spaces that do not harm our area? Build above ground, build below ground, things of that nature. Try to ensure that we maintain good EPA regulations and FDA regulations. But until we get citizens in a place to vote for these things, we're always going to have this issue. Not only do I don't take any money from anybody. I'm not gonna take money from anybody in the future. Like I said, there's no law on the books that can make anybody beholden or accountable to their word. So I am always asking you to take me and the things that I've said as face value, to go and look at the videos that I've done. And you know what? Just keep asking these questions. It's important to me, though, that everybody know that the goal is for you to be able to be a part of the development of the state of Florida instead of just a recipient of the legislation that gets passed. October 15th coming up, if you've made it this far in the video, it's definitely going to be an interesting day for all of us. It's where the Supreme Court is going to hear about whether or not the Section 2 portion of, I want to say, Amendment 14 is going to stand or not because of what happened in Louisiana. So just to give you guys some knowledge on there, I had to pull up my notes on it. It's the Louisiana versus Calais case. Again, it's going to happen October 15th, as they're going to take that case on. And we're going to find out, because we're still having issues with gerrymandering, if indeed racial gerrymandering is going to maintain it's not okay to do status. So we're seemingly having this discussion again. So if we haven't all noticed by now that in 2025 we are having a whole lot of arguments that we thought we solved in the past with the legislation and laws that we passed in the future. But there are individuals who are asking that those laws be removed. Maybe they believe that we don't have any of those problems anymore. I think we still have those issues, and it's just best to leave the laws in place because they were doing a healthy job in ensuring that we all lived a cohesive lifestyle. Again, I have no intention on doing anything solely to the majority of the state of Florida without asking citizens to weigh in and give your legislative authority if we get to implement this. So it is really important that you take it serious, that you ask yourself, no matter what problems we have, what can you currently do about it, and what is being offered to you to be able to do about it. I am not ever going to be a candidate that says, I'm going to fight for your right to get better insurance. No, I'm going to create a pathway for citizens to enact their own legislation to get better insurance. I'm going to create a pathway that's going to allow for you to decide whether or not these laws work or don't work for the majority of citizens. These are things that this is a pathway we've not had before. So I know a lot of citizens are used to looking at the governor, hearing the governor did this, the governor did that. The governor has 120 representatives that could, at a 2/3 vote, veto practically anything that the governor wanted to do. All of those individuals are just as much a part of any problem you're having as the actual governor when the governor signs off on that legislation or not. Because also, we are correct that the governor can veto legislation and create the process. What I want to ensure, though, is that if 51% of citizens want to try something out, that we have a pathway to do that, as well as to recognize that we've made a mistake and change that pathway. That's what's important to me. So I understand when citizens want to ask me my individual opinion about every single topic. I really understand that. But I am trying to convey the message that my individual opinion will not and should not have ever been the sum total of how we build legislation and how we go forward. So that's why I'm asking citizens the right way, which is to fill out the petition, take it to your supervisor of elections office, and ensure that I get on that ballot with a bubble so that you can say that, hey, this governor wants us to play a part in this and not just vote for a body and then go sit down for the next 4 years and hope that he does a good job. No, we're all going to do a good job. We're all going to figure this out. So if you have a disdain for your neighbor, go to your neighbor house and just tell him so y'all can get that out your system. If you have a disdain for anybody, if you don't like their color, if you don't like what they do, if you don't like what they eat, if you don't like their lifestyle, just have a conversation about it and then just let it be known. But if it's got to intrude or protrude on their humanity, then you need to ask yourself a question. You need to ask yourself, who are you? I can dislike. I can dislike anything that I want to, but it doesn't mean that I need to infringe on your right to live. It doesn't mean that I need to infringe on your right to survive. It's very important that you all understand that that's the character that I have. I do not agree with everybody's lifestyle. I do not agree with everyone's culture. I don't agree with everything. And that is okay. And it's okay for you not to either. I just want to ensure that even though we don't agree, that we all have a means to weigh in. I am not trying to be a governor that comes in and tries to say that I'm the sum total of, or my experiences in my 42 years on this earth should be the sum total of how 23 million estimated Floridians should live their life. Absolutely not. I have learned, and the sum total of my life has told me that when you reach the legal age to vote, you should have some say so in how your state moves forward. And I believe that you should have more say so than just who you put in the seat. So I encourage everybody to join me tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And I'm going to go live as many times throughout the week as possible. I learned some things about last week. You guys don't like going live on Fridays. So I want to make sure that you get your 3-day weekends, and I'll just keep taking in the data. But I do appreciate the time that you give me. I try to be quick. I try to be as concise and precise as possible. So thank you very much. I'll stop rambling right now. You guys have a great evening.